We are YouTube live, and everybody's scattering from the front of the room. I love it. All right. Here we go. Did I hit record? I did. All right, let's start out standing because we haven't done that in a long time. Grab your cord blocks. Bring them to the top of the mat. Or your blue blocks, whatever you want. If you want the higher blocks, that's fine too. Okay. And then let's start out. Come to your blocks, and you can either step the right foot forward and put the back knee down. So I guess I'm not starting standing, we're starting a lunge. Or you can start out on the knees and step forward, however you want to get there. Turn your right toes out a little bit. Keep the back knee on the mat. And then drop your hips forward into that stretch as much as you can. Open your right knee out to the right. Lift your right toes up and spread them out. Really activate that foot. Keep the ball of the foot down though. Don't lift up the whole ball. Then try to bring your big toe down first. And then the rest of the toes. It's actually kind of hard to do. Do it again. Pick the toes up, spread them out. Try to bring the big toe down, then the rest of them. Good. Last one. Pick them all up. Now try to bring the pinky down and then the big toe. That's a little easier. Push through that foot. It should be well activated. Drop the hips back. Keep your chest dropped forward into the shoulder blades. As you come back forward, put a lot of weight into that right foot, right heel. Open the hip and just drop the hip softly into that stretch. Good. Do it again. Press through the right foot. Keep your ribs forward though. Don't suck the belly and back. Keep your ribs forward. Just press through the foot. Try to bring your sitting bone back, almost out from under the ribs. Okay. Doesn't have to go straight. Just as far as you can go without tucking and rounding. Then bend that front knee. Come back forward. Mostly you're just looking for the contrast of pushing with the foot to take the hip back. I don't care how far back you go. I care that the hip leads and your back stays flat or even arched, not rounded. Okay, then drop back into the stretch. You should be dropping a little deeper each time. One more. Dig through that right heel. Hip leads back. And then drop it back forward. Knee open. Drop into the stretch. Good. Put the top of the left foot on the mat. Bring your left block right under your left shoulder. Stiff arm it. Okay, really send the energy down through the hand. Let your ribs and your left hip hang so your shoulder will get driven up. But it's not because the neck's engaged. It's because you're letting your ribs hang out of the shoulder blade. Gravity's pulling ribs and hip down. You should feel a stretch in the front of the left hip. So breathe. Keep opening the right knee further. Gonna sit deeper. And then press through the hand, pick it back up. Push the blocks away, pull your ribs back. And then do it again. Hips drop forward first. Then drop that left hip further forward. Let your ribs hang down out of the shoulder blade. Let's go in front of the left hip and so as. Good. Push it away. Good. Now push through the right foot. Suck it back. Even up your blocks. Come back forward. This time you're going to open right knee. Sit into the right hip. Bring your right block under the right shoulder. Bring your right shoulder forward. Try to let your ribs hang out of that shoulder. Open your right knee away so that they can. Different? You guys find that? A little bit? Okay, let's rock back and forth between them. Both blocks under your shoulders. Bring your left shoulder forward, hanging into that. Good, then bring your right shoulder forward. Hang the right knee open to find it more. Open the right knee a lot. Good, bring the left shoulder forward. Let's go from psoas to psoas. Then drop it right, bring the right shoulder forward. Good, come to the middle. Press into the hands to fill in the shoulder blades so shoulder blades come down. Tuck the back toes. Push into your back leg. Good. Actually come down. We haven't done this in a while. Put the top of the foot on the mat. Use the quad to straighten the leg. Top of the foot on the mat. Good. So your back knee's in the air. That's all quad. Breathe. Good. Press through the front foot. See if you can come up a little higher. And then come back down. Let the hip drop. Let the knee drop. Drop deeper into that stretch. One more time. Press into the arms so they're straight. Press into the top of the back foot. Think about squaring your left hip forward, right hip back. See if you can come a little higher. Good. Drop it back down. Good. And drop into your stretch. Now tuck the back toes. Same thing. When you straighten the leg, it's just quad. Don't use your glute at all. That's not involved. Then press through the right leg. Okay? Both legs stay straight. Blocks right on your shoulders. Keep your ribs forward, so long in the rib cage. Don't round your back up. If it's too hard and you're rounded, you need higher blocks. Keep that right foot pushing the mat away. Bend the knee about halfway and hold. Stay really long in your left leg. Really long through top of the head. Pull shoulders back, really engaged here. Drop your left heel back. It won't be able to touch the mat in this lunge. And then bring it back to the ball of the foot. When you drop back, stay in your inner foot. Don't let your ankle bow out. Keep the heel in as you drop back. And then forward. Stay strong in that foot. Stay strong in the right foot. Drop your hips down again. You can bend elbows if you want to drop deeper into this stretch. Good job. And push through the blocks. Good. Come all the way to straight legs. Roll the left hip forward. Think about inner spiraling your left leg. So the left frontal hip comes to your right groin. Good. And then push through the right heel. Stay high on the left toes. Roll the hip open. Good. Inner spiral left leg. Think of outer spiraling right leg. Roll to that pinky side of the right foot. Just a touch. Dig through right heel. Roll it back. Last one. Roll left hip forward. Bring your right arm up. Open up the chest. Good. Twisting. Keep hugging your right hip back. Think about your right hip making a half moon back and your right groin coming into the left groin. Left heel stays hugging into the midline. Arm overhead, opening up the right ribs, and then bring your arm back, open the chest, drop the back heel back, bring your bottom shoulder blade forward a little bit. Shrug the bottom shoulder forward and roll it in. Good, bring it back. Arm overhead, push through the back foot, round it up. Good, bring the top arm open the chest. Good, drop the heel back, bottom shoulder forward. Last time, push through the ball of the foot, arm up and over, hug your right hip back. Bring it back, drop the heel back. Good. Last time, holding. Roll the right hip, right shoulder down, stay in line with the body. Good, shin in. Bend the right knee, try to come down into that lizard chaturanga. See if you can bend left elbow too, keeping the right arm extended. And then come right back up. One more time like that. You ought to be warming up by now. Come back up, hand to your blocks. Good, how are we going? Step the right foot back into a high plank. Good. Keep the belly picked up. Step left foot forward outside your blocks. Good. Come all the way down slowly, setting the knee down on the mat nicely. Your knee should be under your right hip, by the way. Don't let it be too far to the left. Drop the hip forward, just like we started before. Okay, you can move the top of the foot on the mat. Lift and spread your left toes out. Keep the ball of the foot down. Right, but lift the toes up, spread them out. Try to bring your big toe down, keeping the other toes up, then bring the other toes down. Do it again. Lift and spread the left toes. Bring the big toe down first, then bring the other toes down. One more. Lift and spread your left toes. But bring the pinky down first, then the big toe. Good. Keep that foot nice and active. Press through the front foot to bring your left sitting bone back. Think of your sitting bone trying to come out from under the ribs. Sticking the booty back. Okay, then coming forward, open your left knee, resting into the left foot. Really put all your weight in that left foot. Do it again. Push through the left foot, hugging left hip back. Left leg does not have to straighten. I don't want to see rounded backs. And bend the knee to come forward, dropping deeper into your stretch each time. Do it again. Push through the left foot. Maybe you only come back this far. Maybe that's as far as you can go without your back pulling. Okay. And then drop back forward. Good. Keep that stretch in the top of the leg. Bring your right block right under the shoulder. Stiff arm it. Your left hand's basically doing nothing. You could rest it on the knee if you wanted. And let the ribs hang out of the front of that, or out of the shoulder blade, and let the hip hang out of the rib. You should feel your right psoas now. Breathe. Push into the hand, pick it up a little. Do it again. You can use both hands if you want. Drop the hips forward. Drop into that right shoulder blade. Right shoulder's a little forward. And then pick it back up. Even up your blocks. Do the left side. Bring your left block right under your left shoulder. Drop into that. Try to drop the hip. It won't drop as far because your left foot is left knee is in the way. Left hip is in the way. Open the left hip out of the way so you can bring left shoulder forward more. Good. It's a pretty tough stretch. Let's go back and forth between us. Right shoulder forward, opening right psoas. Left shoulder forward, rock the hips left. Open left knee further away. Good. Right shoulder forward. Right hip dropping. Left shoulder forward. Left foot. Go all the way to outer foot. Really roll out. That's it. And come back to center. Good. Blocks under the shoulder. Alright, and then push into the top of the back foot. That's a quad flexing. Try to bring it up. Good. Bring your hips up so you can come higher. Drop back down. Put the knee back to the mat. Good. Hips sit into your stretch. Do it again. Push into the top of the back foot. Press it to the front foot so you come higher. Bring it back down. Good. Now tuck the toes. It's the same straightening. It's just the quad pulling. Straighten the legs. So reach back. You don't need to squeeze the butt at all. No glute squeeze. Push into the left foot to come up. Good. Can you shorten your stance and pull left foot back? Okay. Bend the front knee. Drop your hips down. You can bend elbows a little bit too to drop a little deeper into your stretch. And then re-straighten the arms. Good. Stay with the knee bent. Drop the heel back into your lunge. And then push into the ball of the back foot to come forward. Drop your right heel back. Stay in your inner foot when you drop back. Reach back with that foot. And then push through the ball of the foot to come forward. Maybe you can roll all the way over toes if the foot's strong enough. Roll back. Reach through inner foot. Stay long in the core. Come back up. Now push through the left foot. Inner spiral your right leg. So your right hip drops forward, and also the groin tries to spin in. Right frontal hip coming into left groin. Good. And then push through the left heel. Roll it open. Do it again. Inner spiral right leg. Roll it forward. And then roll it back open. 3 more. Inner spiral. Good. Roll it open. That's it. Inner spiral right. Think of outer spiraling left a little bit. You can inner spiral it too. It's a different stretch in the hip. Roll it open. Last one. Roll forward. Hold. If you feel like you're too long and sliding over, you can hop it up. Bring your left arm up. Open the chest. Breathe. Okay. Bring the arm overhead. Really pick up the ribs by pulling your left shoulder blade, or your right shoulder blade a little down and pushing out of that hand. Hug your left hip back. Left hip half moving into the right groin. Breathe. Then bring the arm back, open the chest, roll the bottom shoulder forward, drop the heel back. Good. Push into the ball of the back foot. Bring the arm up, stretch. Left hip dropping back. Then bring the arm back, drop the heel back, bottom shoulder forward, a little sink. Pick it up. Reach overhead. Good. And then bring it back. This is your last one. Bring it up this time. Hold. Roll that left hip, left shoulder forward till hips are square. Keep your chin in. Bend your left knee. You can bend right elbow, hugging it in. Coming toward that lizard chaturanga. Bring it back up. Do it again. Bend the left knee open. Bring it down. Press to bring it back up. Good. Hands to your blocks. Good. Step that foot back. How are we doing? Hike the hips up. Walk your feet in so that your hips are right above your heels. Good. We've done this a few times. We're staggering in the hips with this. Let's do your toes about 1 inch apart. The ball of the foot or index knuckle about 1 inch apart. Inner feet pull to each other. So you're rolling toward inner feet, which means the outer ankle here should be working. And then you're going to drop the right heel down, right hip down, but the left foot, inner arch staying in, is going to really work to keep your left hip staggered up. Then pick it back up. Neither knee bends. Do not bend the knees. Drop left hip, left heel. Maybe you can't touch the floor. That's okay. Bring it up. Drop right hip, right heel. You should see that SI joint in the back, hips separating. Bring it back up. Drop the left hip, left heel. Bring it back up. Drop right hip, right heel. Bring it back up. And then slowly lower both feet. Feet should be very awake. Bring feet to mat width apart. Heels wider than toes. Walk the blocks out in front. And then spread your fingers out a lot. All your fingers are very spread. The base of the hand is about mid-block. Drop your hips back. Maybe you even pull the blocks to their back corner. Drop your head down. Breathe. You should feel like a down dog foot. Bend the knees a little bit. Try to bring the ribs toward the inner thighs. Find your breath. Straighten the legs. Keep letting head drop. Pull the core up, rounding. Grab the mat with your toes. Walk your blocks back under you more. Good job. Okay, let's heel toe the feet a little wider. If you're okay off the mat, if you need to turn and face me so you have both feet on the mat, you can. Heels a little wider than toes, blocks forward. Same thing. Blocks wide enough, maybe even that width. Spread fingers, drop hips back. Thinking down dog. Your heels should be wider than your toes and they should feel like they're pushing the mat apart. Drop the chest down as far as you can. Keep the hand on the block. Don't let your wrist break off the back of the block or you'll miss the shoulder stretch. Breathe. Now bend the knees here. Drop your hips lower. How far can you bend? Re-straighten the legs. Think of sitting bones going higher. Lift your low belly up a little bit. Try to lift and round by digging through heels. Lift your low belly, lift your ribs, and then unround. Bend the knees. How far down can you bend? Bring it back up. Try to tip your hips over to the right a little bit. Bring it back to the middle. Right hip forward, hips go left, and back to the middle. Just hang out here. One more breath. And bring your blocks back. Blocks right under the shoulders. Press down through the bottom two thumb knuckles, these two thumb knuckles especially, all the knuckles too. And feel how that can help you slide your shoulder blades apart and pick your ribs up. Suck the low belly up a little bit. Bend your knees and hug them in toward each other. Lift your outer feet, purposely working feet and ankles. Keep knees hugged in. Walk blocks back a little bit. See if you can bring your hips back behind your heels a little. This is a bit of a funny one. Try to bring your right hip forward by bringing your right knee in and down toward the left ankle. Left hip will drop back. Bring it back. You should feel this in front of the hips. Left knee in and down. Right hip drops back a little. If you can't move and you're totally stuck, you just need to narrow your stance. Bring it back. Right knee drops in and down. Sucking low belly up, make space in the front of that hip. Bring it back. Left knee drops in and down. Right hip gets out of the way, drops back. Bring it back. You guys feel that? Okay. Keep knees hugging in. Keep hips behind heels. Keep blocks right under you. Suck your belly up higher. And then you're going to unround by digging into heels. Drop the sitting bones back. Good. Do it again. Toes grab the mat to help you round. Knees hugging in forward. Lift your low belly. And then dig through heels, hips back, sitting bones back. Good. Walk blocks forward. Good. Hop your feet onto the mat. All right. Walk blocks back out in front of you. Step your left foot forward inside the blocks. Come high on your right toes. Bend, press off, step back as far as you can. Okay, bend the left knee, come down into a lunge. Your feet should be about hip width apart here. Your back inner foot is in. Breathe. Keep the back leg strong, back quad straight. That's a boundary your hip drops into. Keep the legs strong so that your hip kind of turns a corner here when it drops down. Roll shoulders back, chest up. See if you bring left hand to left knee with elbow out. And then find your balance, right elbow out. Suck the belly back. Now bend your back knee just enough to stretch the front of that hip. Breathe. Back foot is working hard. Good. Inhale, arms up. Straighten both legs. Core is your stability. And then as you exhale, bend the front knee, sit down. Good. Bring your back arm or your left arm to the back leg. Reach the right arm up. Bring right elbow to left knee. If you can't be in the air in this twist, put the back knee down softly. Good. Breathe. Look at a spot out in front of your mat. Push left hand into right. Keep the right hip dropping in and down, weighting your left foot. Lower the back knee slowly if it's up. Top of the foot into the mat. Drop your hips deeper into the stretch. Breathe. Bring your right shoulder up to your jawline. Try to set your chin on the shoulder. And go the other. Push left hand into the right. Pull the ribs back. Keep your right hip forward. And come out of your twist. Good. Tuck the back toes. Push into the front leg. Roll the hips open to face right. Spin your right heel in and down. Heel toe your left foot more to the middle of the mat. So your left heel cuts right into the right arch of the foot. Let's bring your blocks to second level unless you know you're really tight. Even if you're easy in this, try the blocks. Open up the right arm. Good. Body open. Stay rolled into your inner left foot. Now check in with the lower side of the body. Are you picked up here a lot? If you are, your block needs to be higher so that you can drop the hip back and make this flatter. Okay? Breathe. Okay, let's bring the arm overhead. Stay long in both sides. Bend the knee. Good. And then bring it back up. Good. Let's switch so your hand is now going to be in front of the foot. Left hand to right block in front of the foot. Okay, bring the arm overhead, bicep by the cheek. So that right shoulder blade spirals around the front of the ribs. Palm facing left, palm facing back. Bend the left knee. Try to drop your hip down into that stretch. And then press into the foot, bring it back. Left sitting bone dropping back. Now see if you can roll your right hip, right ribs down. And then roll it back open again. Good. You take my class all the time. This is not hard. For a lot of people at first, this is very hard. Roll it back open. Very good. One more time. Roll that right hip, right shoulder forward. Bring your right hand to the block or the floor if you're very flexible here. Bring your left arm up. Just breathe. Okay, bring the left arm overhead and then back down to your blocks. Open up the chest again. Good, one more thing here. Move your block if you can, hand to the mat. Bring your right arm up, turn so palm faces back, that's an inner spiral. Thumb travels forward and then back away from midline. Hand comes around your back so the palm is against the hip. Bend your left knee, bend your left elbow and hug it in toward the front of your mat. See if you can get your ribs inside that leg. Drop your head. If you don't release the back, this isn't going to happen. Bring your left arm underneath. See if your left hand can hold your right wrist. Pull up on the right hand with your left hand. Roll your right shoulder up using that as leverage. Chin is still in. Maybe you can straighten the left leg. Maybe you keep it bent, whatever works. Breathe. Bend the knee if it's straight. Come down as deep as you can into that. Try to put your left knee, left shoulder in the back of the shin, and then hands to mat. Bring it back up. Okay, so what's the alternative if you can't get down there? Try bending the knee and working your arm, left arm underneath, and sort of winging the elbow out once you're there. Then you will just try to work on straightening the leg into the back of the shoulder to push you back further into the stretch. Okay, all right, blocks to the mat. Come back to third level with your blocks. Spin onto the right toes. Very good. Heel toe left foot over so your feet are not on a tightrope. And let's bend your back knee. Then re-straighten. Good. Flatten your back out first. Keeping the front leg straight. Bend the back knee. Let it come all the way to the mat. Press through the foot to re-straighten. It's a decent amount of work in the foot. Good. Last time, bend the back knee. This time you don't have to touch the mat. You can press into the foot, hop forward, shorten your stance. Good. And then turn the heel in and down. Your heels can either be hip width apart, or if you're really loose in the hips, they can be on the same line. Heels on a tightrope. Okay, if you know you need more space in the hips than that, bring them apart a little. Roll your right hip forward. Keep the inner foot down though. Your back foot is turned out about 10 degrees, maybe 45 degrees, not all the way sideways. Keeping that right hip forward, ribs go long, and then bend the elbows. Think chaturanga, elbows hug in, back stays flat, stretching the back of the left hip. You may feel your left hamstring too, among other things, but definitely want to feel the back of the hip. If your hips stagger, so right hip comes forward, the left back of your hip should get a stretch too. Low back as well. Now don't pull shoulders back. This time let them hang forward. Breathe. While you're in the stretch, push through the right heel, or left heel, roll the right hip back. And then roll it back forward. One more time. Roll it back. Roll it back forward. Press through the hands to come up. Bend your front knee. Keep the inner back foot on the mat. Push through the front foot. Slowly find your balance as you stand up. Warrior one. So really square the right hip forward. The back hip is rolling in and forward. Okay. Then bring arms up. Inhale. Interlace your fingers and reach the palms to the ceiling, wrists to the ceiling. Bring your ribs back in the body a little bit, so hands can come a little forward. Bring your hands to the left. Roll to the inner arch of your right foot, really active right foot. Bring it back. Hands to the right, roll to inner left foot. Bring it back. Try to straighten the front leg. If you have an upper back bend, you can lift the belly up and start arching back a little bit. As long as you stay lifted, you shouldn't crush low back. Then come forward, all the way long, long, long. Hands back to blocks, stretch over that front leg once more. And bring it back up. Good, how are we doing? Step the left foot back. Good, try to bring heels as close to the mat as you can. Bring the right foot forward. Good, come high onto the left toes. Bend the back, knee, little push off. Pop that foot back as far as you can. Good, stay high on the ball of the foot. Feet should be about hip width apart here. Bend the front knee. Good. Dropping down into that stretch. Very nice. Keep the quad strong, back leg strong. So you can lower the back knee to the mat. Keep pulling the left hip forward. Re-straighten the back leg. Really engaging the quad without squeezing left glute. Good. Now bring the right hand to the knee. Keep the elbow wide. Bring your knee in a little bit. Then finding your balance, bring left hand to the knee. Elbows forward, suck the belly back. If you can't do it in the air, just do it on the ground. Okay? Everybody find your balance. Keep trying to suck the belly up, out of the hip. You can bend the back knee a little bit to stretch quad and psoas. Don't squeeze glutes or this is lost. Okay, see if you can inhale, arms up. Straighten out the back leg more. Find your breath. Straighten the front leg if you've got the balance. Good. Bend the front knee back down, sit all the way into your lunge. Good, bring right arm to the back leg. Left arm reaching, and then elbow to knee. Hands in prayer, look out in front of your mat. Don't twist the head, look in front of the mat. You need to put the back knee down softly you can. Okay, don't want to be in the air, great. Press right hand into the left to pull your ribs back, but keep your left hip forward. Think of your right hip hugging back to bring left hip forward. Breathe. Slowly lower the back knee down. Roll to the top of the back foot. Sit deeper into your stretch. Let that left shoulder come forward. Sit your chin on it. Breathe. Keep bending the right knee further to pull your left elbow further forward. Then press right hand into left, twisting the ribs. Suck the belly back. Back knee pulling forward on the mat a little. And then drop back into it. Good. Hands to blocks. Very nice. Tuck the back toes. Press into the back leg. Roll the hip open. Spin the heel in and down. Grab the mat with the foot. Heel toe your right foot a little left. So you have heel to arch alignment on the feet. Okay. So go ahead and bring your left arm up. Open up the chest. Triangle. Stay high. Feel how you can pull the hip back. Let's do the opposite of that. Suck the belly up. Really round the bottom side up. That's bad. We don't like that. It's not for right now. Drop the hip back again. Shoulder can come forward. This should be long. Very good. Okay? Bring it down. Let's see if you can drop down the second level and keep the same shape. Okay. Open it back up. Breathe. As you exhale, bend the front knee. Bring the arm overhead. When you come back, sitting bone comes back out from under it. Do it again. Bend the front knee. Good. Bring sitting bone back. Ribs are long. Last one. Bring that sitting bone back. Good job. Roll left hip, left shoulder down. Roll it back open. Good. Roll left hip, left shoulder down. Roll it back open. Last two. Left hip, left shoulder down. Roll back open. And last one. Hold. Find your breath. Chin in. And then roll it back up. Good. Bring your left hand to the front block. Or sorry, right hand to the front block, the left block. Good. Bend the knee. Try to use your arm to pin your knee back a little bit, or your shoulder. Bring the arm overhead. Sit into that stretch. Good. If it's an easy stretch for you, you can get rid of the block or bring it to first level. And use shoulder pinning the right knee back. And then arm overhead. Good. Go ahead and bring the arm up. Turn so palm faces back. That's an inner spiral. Bring the hand to your back. If that's as far as you can get, that's fine. Roll the shoulder back, pulling the hand into your back, chin in. If you want to try to go further, keep the hand on the back of the hip. Bend your right elbow. Try to bring your ribs inside the leg. Drop the head. If you keep picking your head up, your back is flexed and you're never going to get this. Drop the head. Bring the arm under the leg and reach up. Right hand holding left wrist. So bottom hand holding top. And then pull up on your bind. If you want to straighten the front leg, you can. Chin in. Breathe. Roll that left shoulder up and back. Good. Let go of the bind, or don't let go of the bind. Bend the front knee, bring the shoulder to the back of the knee. So what's your modification? Hands can come to the mat, and maybe you're just working on getting the arm underneath. Maybe you're working on just dropping chest inside. If you can get the arm underneath, but not the bind, you're dropping knee into back of shoulder. Okay, if none of that's happening, just have your hands on blocks and work on squaring and opening hips until that gets more open. All right, let's come back to third level. Spin onto the toes of your back foot. Heel toe that right foot more to the right. Okay, straight front leg. Drop chest into the shoulder blades. Bend the back knee, keeping the front leg straight. Suck your belly back. Let's go ahead and round. Pull the ribs out of the shoulder blades. Lots of strength in the back foot. Drop the chest back forward. Re-straighten the back leg. Heel never drops. Do it again. Bend the back knee. Maybe you can touch the mat this time. Good. And then take it all the way back up. It's a lot in the foot. One more. Bend the back knee. Don't touch the mat. Suck the belly back. Push through the right heel too. And then flatten out the chest. Re-straighten the back leg. This time bend the back knee. Push off. Step shoulder. Good. You're going to turn your left heel a little in. So your foot is turned out maybe 10 degrees, maybe 45, and you have a shorter stance for your warrior one. Roll the left hip forward, blocks a little further forward so your spine can be long. Keeping the ribs open and the spine long, bend your elbows trying to lengthen the chest down over that leg. Drop your head down. Keep your shoulders hanging. Normally we lift them up and engage serratus. Let serratus disengage so the shoulder blades can hang to the ground. Elbows hug in, not out. While you're in the stretch, can you roll your left hip back, push into your right heel, and then roll the left hip forward. 2 more. Roll the left hip back, push through right heel, feet control this. Roll to inner left foot, roll forward. 1 more, roll back, and then roll forward. Good. Press into hands to come to a flat back. Bend your front knee. Try to find your balance in the standing posture, hands to the knee. Slowly bring it up. Keep left hip squared forward. Feels like you're pulling left hip forward, right hip a little back. Okay, so that same rolling we do all the time, that's what's important for your warrior one. Inhale, bring your arms up, interlace fingers, flip them over. Try to interlace the opposite way that you did the last time. Okay, keep left hip forward, right hip back. Suck the ribs back, hands go a little forward. Bring your arms over to the right. Roll to the inner arch of your left foot. Breathe, reach out of that left wrist. Bring it back, bring your arms over to the left. Roll to the inner right foot for more balance. Breathe, bring it back. Straighten the front leg. You've got the upper back end, you can lift up into it. And then bring arms forward, hips back, hands to blocks. Come back down into that stretch again with left hip forward. Good, re-straighten the arms. Come high the back toes, bend the knee, step forward. Good, how are we doing? Working? Yeah. Good, feel stretching too? Yes. Yes, okay. All right, let's go ahead and do some stuff with your block, I think. Either grab your blue blocks and use a cork block, or grab your purple blocks to go with your cork blocks. If you know you're tight in your calves, you should go straight to your purple block. Because the cork block's a lot higher. Use the purple block? Yeah. Ready? All right. So, hands on cork blocks or blue blocks, whatever you're using. Good, and then heels on your block. Toes on the floor. Try to make your block as straight as possible. Okay, drop chest down into the shoulder blades. Bend the knees, hips drop back. Try to flatten your back. Think of your floating ribs sitting as far forward on the thighs as they can. Now keeping the ball of the foot down, can you raise and spread your toes? Not the whole toes lifting, ball of the foot stays down. Good. And then try to drop your right big toe into the mat, straightening your right leg. Inner spiraling, suck the right low belly back, top of the head forward, shoulders back. Breathe. If you push into that right big toe and think about spiraling, toes out, heel in, it'll help you hug your right hip a little further back and help you feel the low belly. All right, so heel in, toes out. Okay, switch, push the left big toe into the mat. As you bend right knee, let the right hip hang forward. Drop left hip back a little and think of spinning your left toes out to the left, heel in. Keep the left big toe stuck on the mat as you do that. And then switch. Good. Then you're just going to go back and forth. You can bring the toes down if you want, but the pressure in the big toe will help you connect with low belly, inside pelvic bowl. Switch. When you switch, try to bend the knees in between, then straighten the straightening leg. Bend the knees in between, then straighten. Good. Feel your hips move back and forth loose, separate from each other. Keep your chest dropped into the shoulder blades so that when the hips move, the ribs feel like the shoulder blades are just, or the serratus are just sort of cupping them, and your ribs are loose enough to move too. If your back is really rounded, you need a higher set of blocks. All right, good. Let's stay with your right leg straight. Try to drop your hips further back. Bring your left elbow inside the left knee to twist. Maybe you keep your right hand on your block and just work on looking under the right elbow. Maybe you can bring your right hand into prayer and twist fully. Breathe. Keep the right inner foot rolled in. Don't roll out. A lot of balance here. The more you suck the core up and the knees hug in, the more balance you'll feel. Bring it back to center. Switch. Bend the right knee, straighten the left. Hips drop back. Bring your right elbow inside the right knee to help you twist. You can turn the left fingers in toward the midline on the inside of the block. Maybe that's your twist. Good. Maybe your right hand goes to the ground. If you want to try the balance, find prayer. Keep the left inner foot in, sucking the belly back as you twist. And come back to center. Good job. Bring your right toes out to the right, ball of the foot on the floor. Bend both knees, drop the hips down, sit all the way to your heels if you can. Good. Bring your blocks a little closer so they can actually help you. You're not really using them for much right now. Let your tailbone drop under. Don't hold your butt up with your back. Let your hips drop. Good. So that puts more weight in the feet, so that's good. See if you can bring just your right heel up. Upward. Bring it back down. See if you can bring just your left heel up. Good. Bring it back down. See if you can lift them both up, sitting bones coming to heels. Good. Suck the belly back, grounded, and bring your heels back down. Good. Now try to drop your left hip forward, knee forward, sucking the belly back, sitting on your left heel. Left heel comes off the block. Bring it back in. Try to bring your right hip out to the right, reaching knee. It's an awkward movement, but if your hips separate, you have a lot of range of motion. Bring it back. Good job. Bring your blocks back close to you. Push into blocks, hips come up and back. Good. Blocks under shoulders. Go ahead and walk your blocks forward and step your left foot forward outside the blocks to the left edge of the mat. We've done this flat too. You don't have to be on the block if you don't want to. If that's a distraction, just step to the floor. Roll the right hip forward. Blocks have to be out far enough so that your ribs can go really long. Then push through the left hip, roll the right hip back. Good. Roll the right hip forward. Push your left heel, roll it back. Last two. Roll your right hip forward, elongate ribs. Push your left heel, roll back. If you're up on that block, it helps keep the right hip high. Drop your chest down low. Breathe. Bring the upper body back up. Roll the right hip forward, elongating ribs. Now bend elbows, drop chest straight down like that. Breathe, press through the arms to come up. Good, and roll it back. Walk your blocks back again. You're going to step your left foot so the ball of the foot is on the block and the heel is dropping off the back of the block. Stretching calf, lower leg, hamstring, pretty much all the way down. Your right heel now kind of has to be on the block because you're holding the block down.
Is the left heel hitting the floor?
If it can, yeah. Don't go back so far to cheat though. Use your purple block for this.
Okay.
Yeah, if your heel is having trouble touching the floor on the cork block, the purple block is a 1/2 inch smaller. Might as well use that. Now bend both your knees. Try to keep heel close to the mat. Then straighten just the left leg, trying to drop heel into the mat. Then switch, straighten the right, bend the left. Drop the head. Everybody wants to pick up the head here. Don't do that. Drop chest and shoulders. Switch, straighten the left, bend the right, drop your hips back. Walk your blocks back. Try to keep your left heel on the floor. Step your right foot back and right. Block should be pretty much in line with the front of the sideways block when your foot's on. Okay? Keep your left heel on the ground. Lift and spread your left toes. Roll your right hip forward. Elongate ribs flat back. And then roll it back. 2 more. Right hip forward. Roll it back. A lot of rolling through the hips today. Right hip forward. Hold. Elongate ribs. Keep your spine long. Shoulders pulling back. Bend your elbows to drop down over that stretch. Let the shoulders hang and shrug, especially the left shoulder. Left shoulder should shrug forward toward jaw. Breathe. While in the stretch, roll the right hip back. Stay in the stretch, try to roll forward again. And then bring it up. Good, spin on the toes of the back foot. Hop the foot into your center line. Bend the back knee. Bring the knee forward. Suck your belly back. You can bring the blocks further back too. Really pull the ribs back out of the shoulder blades. You're really sucked up in here. Okay? And then see how far back you can sit, bending the knee. Roll the heel back down. A lot of work in the foot. Bring it back up again. Good? See if you can sit back further. There has to be room for your left leg to straighten. Blocks can come down, sitting all the way back. Anybody? Almost. You didn't have enough space. See how your leg can't go sit? There you go. You didn't have enough space. Neither did you. Flexing the front foot. You can try lifting that foot up. You can try to balance. Good. If you want to drop the heel down. Nobody. All right. Coming back up. heels to the floor, both balls of the feet on the blocks. Blocks out in front, bend the knees a little bit. Breathe. Should be a pretty big stretch in your calves. Keep your back flat and your belly lifted. Good. Very good. Straighten only the right leg. Keep the left knee bent. Doesn't have to go all the way straight. Bend. Switch. Bend. Good. Press into the ball of the foot. Try to rise high on your heels. Step your soles of the feet to the block now. Blocks out in front. Shoulders back. Okay. Bring your left foot out to the left. Actually, bring both feet to the left a little bit. Bring your left foot out to the left. It's covering block height. Try to drop the left hip down, left leg down, both legs straight, and pick it back up. Drop it down. Push your inner right foot, pick it back up. 2 more, drop it down. Let your chest drop into the shoulder blades too. Pick it back up. Last one, drop down. Sit the hips back. Bend your left knee. Keep your right leg as straight as you can. Should feel a stretch in the back of that right hip. Breathe. And bring it back up. Good. Switch. Walk your feet over to the right. Right foot in the air, block height, pretending you're standing on a level surface. Drop the chest into the shoulder blades, back of the neck long. Think of your chin coming up into your own throat, top of the head reaching forward. Drop your right hip down, both legs straight. Roll to inner arch of your left foot, pick the right hip up. Drop it back down. Pick the right hip back up. 2 more. Drop down. Pick it back up. Last one. Drop down. Hold. Sit the hips back. Bend the right knee. The knee of the foot that's on the floor. Drop hips back as far as you can. Really find the stretch there. Breathe. Let the neck release. Let the upper body release. 2 more breaths. Last one. And bring it back up. Good. Straddle the block, 1 foot on either side. Heel toe feet to mat width, heels wider than toes. Shift your hips to the right. Roll to inner left foot, outer right foot, right toes curling in, drop your head. And then switch. Shift your hips to the left, roll to outer left foot, inner right foot, and then switch. Hips should be getting more and more mobile. Drop chest into shoulders. Let's let go of the blocks. Drop your head and neck down. Hands hold on to the legs, elbows wrapping around. Try to bring your head to your block. That's not going to happen, it doesn't matter. It's just lengthening spine toward the mat. Breathe. If you've got the room here, even while you're in this forward bend, you can shift hips back and forth. Softly making room in the SI joint. Connects the hips and the low back, and the back of the sacrum. Breathe. Bend the knees. Try to fit your ribs inside your knees. Elbows hug in and back. Top of the head forward and down. And then straight. Good. Bring hands back to your blocks. Good. Step back to your blocks. This time turn your left toes out to the side, making that L shape with the feet. Good. Bring your blocks back. Bend the knees, sitting bones back. Flat back, shoulders back, top of the head forward. Good. Straighten your left leg here. And then bend. Then straighten just the right. Now that staggers the hips. Then bend. Go ahead and sit all the way down into your squat. Good. Blocks wherever they help you balance. Try to put the blocks outside the right knee though, the right block. Okay. Keep your low back released so your tail rolls under a little. Hips release behind the heels. Good. Then you can feel your core pulling. Soft chest. Don't pick up the chest. That's going to help you flex the back. Let those release. Soften here. Drop your head. Okay. See if you can pick your left heel up off the block. And then bring it back. See if you can pick up your right heel. Maybe the sitting bone stays with it. Bring it back. Good. Try to pick them both up. Sitting bone sitting on heels. Low back released. Bring it back down. Very good job. Keeping your low back released. Drop your head in a little bit deeper. Breathe. Suck the belly up to sit all the way back up. Keep the tail a little bit under. Good. And maybe you can come up to both heels up, sucking the belly back. Try to find your balance. Hands back to blocks, heels back to blocks. Bring blocks close to you, under you. Lean over them, pushing into hands, butt up and back. Good job. Oh, we skipped one. Sorry, come back down. Sorry. Bring your right hip forward. The heel can come to your sitting bone and actually pull that whole hip forward. Good, and bring it back. Bring your left hip forward, heel can come to sitting bone and reach that left knee out. Bring it back. One more each side, reach the hip. Good, bring it back. Reach your left hip. If your hips are willing to separate, you've got a lot of room here, bring it back. So if your low belly pulls back, it helps your hips move freely. Alright, now blocks back, shoulders pitch forward, press into the hands, bring it back. Walk your blocks way out in front of you. Okay, keep left heel on the block, situate it now, and then step your right foot forward outside your blocks. It's a Paribhottanasana, that's a short stance. Walk blocks forward, top of the head forward, shoulders back, really elongating ribs. Left hip will drop forward when you do that. Good. Then push through the right heel, drop the hips back. And back up a little bit, because I'm off my mat here. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, roll left hip forward, ribs go long. And then push through right heel, drop it back. Good, roll left hip forward, ribs long, lean out past your blocks. Suck the belly, push through right heel, roll it back. Two more. Roll the left hip forward, top of the head forward, chin up. Roll it back. Last one. Roll forward, staying forward, bend elbows, drop down into that stretch. Breathe, shoulders pull back. Press into the hands. Roll the left hip back. Same thing, drop down and bend elbows. How far can you drop into that stretch? Breathe. Bring it back up. Good, walk your blocks back. Bring your right foot back, put the ball of the foot on top of the block. Left heel dropping toward the mat. Maybe it can touch, but I want a lot of the ball of the foot on the block so the corner of the block is cutting across the middle of your foot into the arches. Okay? Then bend the left knee, bend the right knee a little too, drop chest into shoulder girdle. Good. Straighten just your right leg first. Heel drop into the mat, then bend. Switch. Straighten the left leg. Then bend. Switch. Straighten the right. Switch. Straighten the left. Good. One more each side. Straighten the right. Bending both in between, then straighten the left. You should feel hips starting to swim back and forth, free of each other. Keep right heel dropped, chest dropped. Bring your blocks back. Right about to the front of your purple block. Step your left foot back and wide. Good. Toes are aimed forward a little. About 10 to 45 degree turnout is what you have. Roll the hips back, pushing through the right heel. Then roll left hip forward. Do it again. Roll hips back. Roll left hip forward, right hip back. Two more. Roll the hips back. Roll left hip forward. Last one. Roll the hips back. Hold. Drop the body down. Breathe. Bring it back up. Roll left hip forward. Then drop the body down. Keeping ribs long like you're coming out over the edge of the cliff, then down. Let the head drape. Let the right shoulder especially drape or right elbow reach for the floor. While you're in the stretch, push through right heel, roll the left hip back. While you're in the stretch, roll it forward. Push through the hands to pick it up. Good. Spin onto your left toes. Bend the knee, hop it to the middle. Good. Bend the back knee forward. Pull your ribs back. You can bring blocks back a little bit. Suck the ribs back, belly back. Slowly bending the back knee. How much can the foot take? Keep the inner foot in. Roll down through the foot. Bend the knee, bring it back up. One more time. Keep your core sucked up. Belly lifted. Roll down through the foot. And then roll it back up. Good. Stay back that far. Bring your blocks back to second level. Drop the ribs back down into shoulder girdle and see if you can sit all the way back. Onto the heel. If you can sit on the heel, maybe you can bring the right leg up. If you've got an easy stretch in the calf, maybe you can sit down and bring the foot up. Pretty good. Got a couple of variations there. Come forward with the foot. Bring your blocks back to third level. You're sitting on the foot for the moment. Pitch the body forward. Elbows hug in. Chest forward. Use blocks as much as anything to come back up. Good. Okay. Keep your your right heel on the mat. Okay. And then bend the right knee, keeping the heel down. If that's possible, slide the back foot forward. Walk your blocks forward too. Do a long torso. Pick up the leg. Again, if this is too much in the hip, don't break the Over to your Achilles. Roll the left leg down. Think of inner spiral in your left leg so the left knee faces right, the left front hip comes to right groin, and then roll it back up. Stay in your inner right foot. Roll it down. Good, and then roll it back up. Last one, roll it down. Good, roll it back up, and then keep it rolled down. Bring your left foot also to the block. Bend both knees, sitting bones back, shoulders back, top of the head forward and down. Breathe. Two more. Okay, let's see if you can come back with your blocks and come upright, or at least arms straight back, chest forward. If you think you can come all the way up, keeping low belly lifted, keeping heels on the mat. Come all the way up, inhale, arms up. Suck the belly in, hands come down to prayer. Good. And then bend the knees, sitting bones back. Good. See if you can bring right elbow to left knee and find your twist spotting the floor. Switch. Left elbow to right knee. Find your twist. Pushing right hand into left. Hug the right hip back. And back to center. Awesome. Walk your blocks forward. Push into the ball of the feet. Come really high. And then step the ball of the feet to the floor. Sit all the way down onto the heels. Good. How are we doing? Feeling hips? Working?
Feeling feet.
Feeling feet? You should. Good. You said you had plantar fasciitis?
I
Not
do.
much longer.
This helps.
Yeah, when your feet get stronger, that tendon in there that's getting overworked does less work. When your feet get weaker, that tendon that runs long has to do a bunch of work for the feet. And you have arch supports, and for a while it feels great, then the foot gets weaker and not so much. But yeah, strengthening the foot is good for that. All right, let's go ahead and come up. That was your break. Get ready to do your purple block. Feet mat width. Go ahead and set the blocks down. And sit on.
Are these going to be too high or are they good?
They're a little high. I don't think you'll need them for everything. You can probably use them for when we do one leg back. You'll definitely want height. But, yeah, let's see. You can do what Todd's got going on over there, hybrid one of each. Alright, so sit all the way forward. Your sitting bones are actually hanging off the front of the block, or almost hanging off the front of the block. Good, feet as wide as the mat and pretty far forward. Okay. And then elbows on your shins. Before you come forward, actually, let's go into, oh no, let's keep hands here. Put the back of the hands together. Elbows try to come to the inner knee. Suck your belly back, push through the feet, drop your chin in, and hug the knees in on the back of the elbows, stretching the back of the shoulder. Now, the more you pull ribs back out of the way and drop head in, the more you'll be able to stretch that. Okay. And then roll it open. May not be a big stretch there. Come hands into prayer. Tip your blocks forward, bending the knees like you're pulling hips into heels. Then try the same stretch. You're going to pull the hands into the sternum, suck the belly back, push enough with feet to pull low belly back, but not so much that your blocks go down. Pull hands into sternum, drop your chin in, close the knees on the back of the elbows. Breathe. Open it back up. Good job. One more time. Knees reach forward, belly sucks back, chin dropping in. Find your breath. Open it back up. Good. Keep your hands in prayer. Spread the fingers. Let's turn so fingers face forward. Good. Keeping fingers face forward. Pull the base of the hand into you, stretching your wrists. Good. Don't shrug shoulders to ears. Keep shoulders down as you do this. Good. Turn fingers to face up. Turn fingers to face your sternum. Again, suck the belly back, elbows forward. Keep fingers into sternum. Open it back up. Good. Hands back in regular prayer. Use your right knee, pushing the whole conduit left. Right knee pushes elbows left, left knee opens. You can even roll to outer left foot. Bring your ribs right. Lift right shoulder a little, drop the left shoulder down. Switch, come back to center. Left knee pushes the knees across to the right. Right foot may even roll to outer foot. Pull your ribs left, lift your left shoulder a little bit. And come back to center. Let's just do that back and forth. Think of a typewriter. As the bottom goes one way, the top goes the other. Switch. Good, and stay in the center. Bring your hands behind the head. Round forward in this stretch as far as you can. Breathe. You're going to catch your weight. Spread and lift your toes. Bring them back down. Grab the mat. Try to open the knees more. Hands to the mat. Try to bring your hands, palms facing down. Elbows into the groin. And then pull the groin apart with elbows. Shrug shoulders forward like you're pinning hips back and trying to bring ribs forward. Should feel a little back stretch. And bring it back up. Good. All right, so here's where maybe you want more height. We're going to bring the right foot back on the mat. Okay, and then if you know you're tight in the hips and you're not going to be able to bring hands back in 10 fingers, grab blocks or maybe 2 sets of blocks. Or maybe a set of blocks and a bolster. Anyone know a set of blocks?
Good idea.
So many choices. Okay. All right. So depending, you're going to need 2 sets of blocks or one
bolster.
bolster.
Okay.
Yep. Put the bolster on top.
Okay.
You're going to need both.
Or just bring them back.
Yeah, but it's up to you. Try it. You can either do 2 sets of blocks and a bolster, or you can just try it if you want to try it. I'll do it with one at a time. So right foot back, and then I'll show you where you would put the blocks if you had them. Bring your hands back to your blocks. Bring your tailbone under. I don't have 2 more of the same blocks, so that's why I'm only got 1. Okay, the blocks give you the height to round your shoulders forward and suck the belly back. If you're really loose in the hip, you don't necessarily need the extra height, and you can still round from here. But if you're not,
Are you in the middle of your butt or hanging off?
kind of tailbone under and you're more on your sacrum. You can
Okay.
also drag that right foot forward just a little bit on the mat so your knee can pop up easier. There we go. Okay. Roll the shoulders forward, shin in. Hug the knees in. And yeah, you guys that I put higher, if you want to come down, come down. Hug the right knee in. Keep your low belly sucking back. Put some pressure in your left foot to help bring the whole pelvic bowl back. A lot of people try to stretch the front of the hip and crunch their low back because this stays closed, and instead of the foot getting pulled, the whole thing crunches. So keep the pressure in left foot, suck the belly back, hug your right knee in, and then see if you can let the right knee drop forward, but keep your low belly sucked back. Go into back pop. Good, do it again. Push through left feet, roll your shoulders forward, chin in, right knee comes across toward left shin, then start sucking the belly back, but dropping the knee forward. Feel that stretch in the hips and psoas? Nothing in low back at all. No? Do it again. Push through left foot. Hug the right knee in. Try to drop it forward and down. Good. Keep the right knee in, but across your left foot, left ankle over the right knee. Okay? And then you want to get the foot to the mat and heel toe it across and pin the foot there. If they're in the air, it's okay, but you're going to have to balance. Bring your left hand to the left knee, and then you're going to twist, trying to keep that right knee trapped across, bending the elbow and opening the hip. Breathe. Good. You guys feel the stretch here?
Yeah, that's good. Right myself.
Yep. And bring it back up. Good. Take the knee off.
So wax.
You got it. All right, left leg back. Yeah, you can do it. She's gonna use just the bolster too. Depends on the height you want or need. Okay, hands come back. You can do 10 fingers or do flat hands. So all depends on your stretch. Roll your shoulders forward. Push with your right foot to rock the pelvic bowl back. Okay, so when that happens, the whole left knee comes too because of the tightness in the front of the left hip. So once you've rocked back, hug your left knee in. That'll start opening the hip a little. Then let your left knee drop forward, but keep the low belly sucked back. Feel that space in the front of the hip. Do it again. Push through the right knee, or right foot, excuse me, like you're pressing the mat forward. And suck your low belly back. Roll your shoulders forward, chin in. Okay. Let that left knee start dropping back forward. Keep your low belly sucked back. Breathe. One more time. Press through the right foot. Left knee hugs across to the right shin. Softly dropping left knee forward. Suck the belly down. Good. And then cross the left knee even more across your center line. You can kind of drag that foot forward a little bit to give you more room. Once the left knee is across, bring your right foot across that and trap it. Right hand to right knee. You're twisting to the left, trying to sit into the left elbow. Keep the right knee trapping left knee across. Breathe as you twist. Keep pressure on the right foot to keep the pelvic bowl dry. And bring it back up. Good. So yeah, you can just drop the knee in and across. Alright, good. Sit back a little further on your blocks. Bring the right foot back again. Heel toe your left foot a little bit wider. Okay, keep right foot parallel to the side of your mat. Come forward inside that left shin as far to the ground as you can. Try to bring your rib cage inside the left groin. You don't have to come down to elbows, but just find your stretch there. Drop the head, breathe. Okay, bring your elbow in front of your left shin, right elbow out to the right. So you're really kind of elbowing your own shin back, trapping the shin back with your upper arm, and you're going to pull back on that to bring ribs forward. Okay? So once you're there, pull back with left serratus, bring your ribs forward, use the left foot too to plug the hip further back. And see if you can push into the top of the right foot and bring your hips up. Both shoulders are rolled back, top of the head forward, breathe. If you want to, you can put your head down. Okay, see if you can wiggle that left foot out of there so you're kneeling on the upper arm. If you do have the head down, you can try a little headstand prep roll to the top of the head. Roll back. If not, you can try dropping the chest a little deeper, coming more to your groin stretch, opening the left knee wider by bending your elbows and leaning left. Good. Press into the hand. Put the foot back down. Sit back. Very good. Okay. Sit forward on your blocks a little bit. Bring the right knee across. You have to kind of drag the foot forward on the mat a touch. And then bring your left foot across that. Okay. Once you're there, take right hand to left knee and twist. This is the same, similar to what we did before, but we're twisting the opposite way. Okay, good. Keep the knee pulled across, suck the belly back, bring your right elbow up, left elbow out, elbows pull apart, belly sucks in, twist. Bring it back up. Now see if you can kind of let your right sitting bone hang off the right side of the block, literally. You're almost going to fall right. You have to lean left not to. Bring that left knee across, elbow to knee, trapping it there, but don't twist and turn left. Bring your left elbow forward. Think of leaning your body forward and down, suck the belly back, let that right hip fall toward the mat. Top of the right foot stops you from totally falling. Keep rounding the spine. So it's kind of like you're twisting low body instead of upper body. You're pulling that left knee across your center. Left elbow reaching forward. Okay, then go the other way. Use the left knee to pull your right elbow forward. At the same time, let your right hip drop more to your right heel. Opening the right serratus up. Chin in. Third variation, bring your left elbow, stack it on top of the right elbow. Grow a little taller. Push down from the left hand to the right to pick up ribs and twist. Your right knee reaches forward and into the left foot as you twist, and your right elbow traps the left knee across. Suck the belly back. Good. Now go back to the low body twist. Your left elbow sweeps wide, pulling out to the side to bring that knee across the body. Good. And bring it back up. Okay. Hips to the middle a little more. Try to bring that foot up as high as you can towards your half lotus. Dropping the knee forward and down. If it doesn't drop down, that's okay. But the more you really wrap up the foot and get the top of the foot to be right in the hip crease, the easier it is to drop the knee. Good. Okay. Suck the belly back a little bit. Round to the right. Bring your right hand to the mat. Left arm overhead and forward. Trying to reach the left knee in and down as you suck your belly back. Good. And bring it back up. All right, take the foot out of the stretch. Side two. To get your foot out, it's easiest to pick up ankle, lean left, and then bring it forward. So you don't squish the foot. Well, I guess not easiest. And the other way to get out is to come up, bring it out, and bring the back one in. All right. So So left foot into the mat. Start out dragging that foot a little forward on the mat. Sit a little forward on your blocks. Your sitting bones are almost off the blocks. Bring the left knee across your center line. Bring your right leg across that and trap it there. Good. Left hand to the right. Right hand back to your block, your bolster, whatever you're using. Good. And then twist. Keeping elbows wide. So you're pulling the shoulder blades off the back. Chin in. Suck your belly back inside the rib cage as you twist. Don't keep your back firm and flexed. Chin in more. Good. Think of pushing your own ribs back. Breathe. 2 more breaths. Lean into the right hip. Lean the right knee into the right hand or left hand as you twist. And come back up. Good. All right. Move your hips over so that your left sitting bone is hanging off the left side of the block. Literally. Keep the knee and foot crossed. You're going to have to lean a little bit across to your right. Bring that left elbow to the outer knee. Keep your left hip dropping. Bring your right hand into prayer. Bring it all the way out wide to the right, like you're trying to reach the serratus wide. Drop your head in. Keep letting your left hip fall off the block. Chin in. Breathe. You can even roll to inner arch of your right foot. Good. Phase 2. Right knee. Hold your left elbow forward. At the same time, you let your left hip drop more left. So fall off the left side of your blocks some more. That should open up your left ribs, open up the left serratus and hip. Breathe. Phase 3, bring your right elbow, stack it up on top of the left. Good. Push your right hand down into your left, picking up the ribs. Left knee reaches forward and into the right foot. Suck your belly back a little bit further behind the hips. Breathe. Good. And then right elbow sweeps wide. Bringing that right knee across to the left. Rounding. Drop your head, release your spine. Suck the low belly out of the way so the hips can cross center line. And bring it back up. Good. Bring that foot up into a half lotus. You can get more on your blocks if you need to. The best way is to cover the foot with the hand. Hold the outer foot. Bring the other hand underneath and pull up first. Settle the foot into you. Then try to drop the knee as far as it's going to drop. Good. Try to keep that foot there. Suck the belly back. Maybe this is where you live. Just working on reaching the right hip and right knee forward and in while pulling the low belly back. If you've got more room and you can take left hand to the floor, you can bring right arm and sweep it forward and open the right ribs as you drop the right knee. Breathe. And break that. Good. Take that foot out of your half lotus. Good. Bring both feet out of it. What did I miss? Oh. Loosen it. Alright, that's the second time you caught me today. I'm like, should put you up here. Okay, so sit on the middle of the blocks. Right foot heel toes to the right side of your mat. Left knee is pretty much in line with the hip, as is your left foot. You can keep that shin parallel to the side of the mat. That's good. Bring your body inside that right groin. Trying to bring your ribs as far forward out of the hip as you can and level with the groin. Good. You can drop head, drop to elbows. You don't have to touch elbows to the floor. Maybe you're just on hands. Maybe put bolster under your elbows. Wherever you're at, breathe. 2 more. Okay, from there, bring the right elbow in front of the shin. Left hand out to the left for symmetry and alignment. Keep plugging the right shoulder back like you're pinning the hip back. Keep the right foot also actively helping to pin the right hip back. Push into the top of the left foot to pick your hips up off your blocks. Keep that shape of pinning right hip back with upper arm. Using serratus, the muscles underneath that armpit, running along the sides of the ribs to roll shoulder back, which also helps you pull ribs forward. You can put top of the head on the mat if you want. Play with your headstand prep. Or you can just keep reaching the ribs forward. Okay, see if you can work the right foot out of there, coming up onto the elbow, kneeling on your upper arm. You can bend the right elbow further to the right, really opening the chest. Again, you can put the top of the head down. You want to roll toward the top of the head, toward your headstand. And roll back to forehead. Good. If you're getting strong enough here, you can hop your left knee right up on top. Alright, roll it back, put your foot on the mat, and bring it up. Good, how are we doing? Yeah? Bring the feet forward, hips come forward, sit down in front of your blocks. Good. Alright, take the blocks. Let's do one core block at the top of the mat. Your orange bolster under the legs and your purple ball under the back. And you kind of want the ball to stick to your upper back. In a minute. So, alright, take the ball, hit it up against the low back to start, and take it a half roll back. Not even a half roll. Lay back over it. And then block is on third level. The best way to place it is to put it under your head, right at the ridge where the hairline is. And then keeping chin in, neck back, come down to the ground. Okay. Tail is under a little and legs rest over your bolster. Arms out, palms facing the ceiling. Breathe. One more breath. Roll the shoulders forward, trying to roll the shoulder heads to the ceiling. And then roll them back as you inhale. Exhale, roll your shoulders forward. You can flip the palms to face the ground if it helps. And then roll back on your inhale. Exhale to roll forward. Feel ribs pull in a little bit. Inhale, roll back. Hold that air and slide your arms up along the mat. Keep your chin down, neck pushing down into that space between the ball and the block. Turn so palms face in. Make your little yoga gun and reach out of the thumb side of the hand. Breathe. Slowly drag the arms up from the serratus, from underneath. Once your gun's right above the forehead, outer spiral arms, so biceps face. Slide your shoulder blades up, reach for the ceiling with arms straight, and then drop the shoulders back down. 2 more, slide them up, hold it down, and then drop the shoulders down. Last one, slide it up. Good, bring your arms forward, keep that outer spiral. Feel like you're pulling hands apart, but they're holding, so they're stuck. The back of the shoulders should feel a spreading there as you drop forward. Squish your own chest or pecs, pick your head up. Slide shoulder blades forward off the back, tuck the belly back. No tucking here, I don't want to see gym abs pooch up. Keep your pubic bone forward, then roll shoulders back. Leaning into your ball, trust the ball, then slide shoulder blades forward, keep core sucking back, and then slide the shoulders back. One more time, slide forward. Now reach up to where the wall meets the ceiling, chin is still in, hips are released. Slide the shoulders back, and then all the way forward. 2 more. Slide the shoulders back, all the way forward and up. Last one, slide the shoulders back, forward and up, then bring the arms right straight up to the ceiling, head in between your arms. Slide shoulders down to the ball, and then straight up. Slide shoulders down, still try to pull hands apart, and then straight up. Last one, slide down, keep them straight up, drop head forward through arms, take your arms behind your head, get long. Untuck hips, lean into your ball a little bit, breathe. Inner spiral leg, lift your hips. Knees face the ceiling, butt up. The outer spiral legs, let hips drop. Bring the arms back up, bring the head up. Hands to your head, get rid of your block. Elbows going forward. Pop the hips forward, push your bolster forward by bending the knees. Good, and legs over the bolster again. Ball should be behind shoulder blades now. Lay back over the ball. Elbows reaching back. And then bring it back up, chin in first, wrist pull, drop the ribs. Really stretching the thoracic spine, breathe. Shoulder blades down, elbows reach forward and down. Then bring shoulders down to the ball, laying back. Ribs open. last one. Push your bolster forward one more time. Hop the hips forward all the way until the ball is just under the head and neck. Legs over your bolster. You can push bolster all the way to calves now, setting up for your corkscrews. Good. One more neck stretch before corks. Arms up, palms face in. Let the shoulders drop. Really loosening chest too. Chin back, neck back, and drop the arms back. Loose and easy. Palms facing in. Breathe. Press the back of the neck into the ball, but open your ribs a little bit and stretch the neck deeper. Inhale. Exhale, let that drop. Slowly drag the arms up from the serratus, from underneath. Good. And then get rid of the ball. Lay flat for your corpse pose or savasana. If you feel like you need something else, go ahead and take it now. Otherwise, stay there. Take a long, deep breath in. Holding that air in. Roll the eyes to the back of the head and the middle of the forehead, where the third eye lives. Try to keep that focus right on the middle of the forehead. Let the jaw release. That's not helping. And then exhale, keeping that focus, but letting everything else soften. One more cycle like that. Eyes focused on the back of the third eye. Feels like you're crossing your eyes. Inhale. Don't let the pupils dart around. And then this time as you exhale, let go of that focus. As eyes spread away from the center of the forehead, feel a spreading across the forehead, across the bridge of the nose. Release the jawline. Let everything go. Start deepening the breath again. On your next inhale, hold the air in. Keep the eyes open, but blur your vision. Soften your gaze. Open fingers, open toes. Reach the arms overhead, still holding the air. And then as you exhale, pull the hands up, close the ribs in, sharpen your gaze. Do it again. Inhale, open up. Then exhale. And let everything go. We can either stack the hips and ribs by rolling to one side, stack the shoulders, lay there for a second or two and make your way up. Pressing through the top hand. Or you can bring the arms up. Chin to the chest, rounding up, sucking core back, reintegrating the body. And then just lay over your bolster when you get there. I already took you guys over. How are we doing?
Yeah.
Good? job. Let's do the M on Saturday.
Since we're late.